Welcome, guys. So, um, I'm going to show you some of the video from the British Council about the IELTS information, which is very important for you because you need to know all the bits and bytes and the pros and cons, so that it gives you good insight about the IELTS exam. So, in my previous lesson, we have covered listening. Now, I'm going to cover the reading technique. Okay, and IELTS exam, as you might be aware, there are 4 sections: listening, reading, writing, and speaking, and 2 types of modules: academic, as you can see, for the academic studies, and general training for the immigration or to move somewhere to work. And more or less, they are similar in listening and speaking, but they're different in reading and writing. So today, my highlight would be to show a video about reading. Then I'll explain afterward how reading can be, you know, accurately. Let's move on.
So, you've decided to take the IELTS exam. Great choice. It's the test that opens doors around the world. These are the key details of the IELTS reading test. The test includes 40 questions spread over 3 articles. You have a total of 60 minutes for the reading test. Unlike the IELTS listening, there is no additional time to transfer answers, so write these directly onto your answer sheet as you proceed through the test. Read the instructions very carefully. Be familiar with the different question types. Here's some advice to prepare for the reading test. Practice reading skills, such as skimming. Skimming means looking over an article or paragraph to identify the key themes or general ideas. This includes paying attention to titles, subtitles, keywords, and topic sentences. Scanning. Scanning is when you are looking for specific information, perhaps a number, or a name, or a date. If you know the specific type of answer you need to find, you don't need to read every word in the article. For example, if you know you need to find out how much money something costs, run your eyes quickly down the article, looking for a number with a currency indicator. Then decide if this is referring to what you were looking for. Skimming provides a bird's-eye view of some material. Scanning helps you swoop down to locate the specific details you need. Another key skill is intensive reading. This helps you to understand the details in an article. When you practice reading tests, don't read an article intensively to start with. This is a common mistake. First, skim the article quickly. Get a sense for what the subject of the article is and look at the title, any headings or diagrams. Read the first sentence of each paragraph to determine the theme of each paragraph. Make notes around the article as you do this. Then, read with specific purpose. Read the questions and be clear what you are looking for. Once you have skimmed and scanned, you are prepared to analyze the questions carefully, circling keywords and thinking of synonyms for those keywords. Don't expect to find the exact same words in the article. Then, use your scanning and skimming skills to home in on the right paragraph in the article. Here, you'll need to read in detail to find the specific answer to each question. To improve your reading skills, read as much as you can. Anything you read in English is good practice, and the more variety, the better. There are no shortcuts or secret techniques. You will only improve with time, practice, and persistence. For more information on IELTS, please see our other videos on speaking, writing, and listening.
Okay, guys, so that's the part of reading technique. Please bear in mind, once again, the more you read, the more you'll be expert, and you must have listened to this video where it says read anything and everything possible. The variety of reading will make your knowledge more expandable about the different kinds of vocabs, different kinds of words, and how it works in the meaning of describing a thing. I suggest that when you read, the best way to learn different kinds of vocab is by reading a newspaper. So what happens if you read a newspaper? Newspaper is a combination of different kinds of topics. Obviously, first thing is the politics, then corruption or crime, then celebrity news, sports news like football, cricket, baseball, okay, and maybe there are many other games there, sports there. Then discovery, science, okay, chemistry, COVID, then weather, then job market, share market, then general comments about the public life or public health. Okay, so those are really very important for you to understand while you read. So the next part is that writing. So writing part, let's go on today, writing coherence and cohesions. See, that is very important for you to know how the writing works.
So you've decided to take the Ielts exam. Congratulations. Success starts with Ielts. Here we look at the criteria of coherence and cohesion. This is one of 4 criteria on which your writing will be assessed. Look for our other 3 criteria videos. Coherence refers to the flow of your writing. Your ideas should be logically organized and appropriately sequenced into paragraphs so they are easy to understand and follow. Cohesion refers to linking words that help you connect ideas and show the relationship between paragraphs, sentences, or parts of sentences. So this criteria looks at how a writing test answer is organized and how to link information and ideas. Here is one simple way to sequence ideas for effective coherence for this Task 2 essay. For example, the threat of nuclear weapons maintains world peace. Nuclear power provides cheap and clean energy. The benefits of nuclear technology far outweigh the disadvantages. To what extent do you agree or disagree? Introduction. Paraphrase question and include your opinion. Body paragraphs. Arguments for nuclear technology. Body paragraphs. Against nuclear technology. Conclusion. Paraphrase your opinion. Plan your essay like this before you start writing. It's important to use paragraphs. These give structure to a piece of writing. Think of paragraphs as a signpost, telling whoever reads your work where your ideas are going and when you are moving onto a different point. Since paragraphs are used to explain your argument in stages, express one idea or set of ideas in each paragraph. A good way to start a paragraph is with a short, simple sentence that introduces the main idea of the paragraph. Teachers often call this a topic sentence. In the remainder of the paragraph, provide explanations, evidence, examples, or personal experiences to build on and extend that idea. Connect and show the relationship between your paragraphs and sentences by using a wide range of linking words or phrases appropriately. See our accompanying download for different examples. They are usually these types: introducing ideas, adding similar ideas, contrasting ideas, giving examples or evidence, explaining results, sequencing, providing explanations, sharing your experience, drawing conclusions, introducing your opinions. Linking can be done in a variety of other ways. For instance, through referencing by using pronouns. Firstly, I'm very happy to receive this award. Additionally, I would like to thank my colleagues. Without them, I wouldn't be standing here accepting this. And also using substitution. Famous people deserve a private life, but celebrities also sell newspapers. As you practice writing essays, review your writing and circle the different linking devices. Then, think about how you could use different words to avoid repetition. Don't overuse linking words or phrases, however. This becomes irritating for the reader. The key in using linking words is appropriacy. Ask yourself, is this necessary and does it match the content that follows? For more information, please see our other writing test videos: Task Achievement, lexical resources, and grammatical range and accuracy.
Alright, let's go to task response or task achievement, which is the fast part of writing. Remember guys, the more you practice, the more you'll be expert, and that is guaranteed.
So, you've decided to take the Ielts exam. Good for you. It's the test for study, work, and life. The Ielts writing test is divided into 2 tasks. The first task differs depending on the module you are taking. There are 2 Ielts modules. The Ielts academic module is generally taken by anyone intending to pursue higher education studies in an English-speaking institute or country. The Ielts General Training module is generally taken for immigration or employment purposes. Here, we look at the criteria of task response for writing task 1 and task achievement for writing task 2. These represent one of 4 criteria on which you will be tested. Look for the other 3 criteria in other videos. These criteria focus on the degree to which the exam question has been answered properly. In the academic module, there is a writing task of at least 150 words where you should summarize, describe, or explain a table, graph, or diagram. You might be expected to make comparisons too. Successfully negotiating this academic task 1 means you will need to identify all the key features in the diagram. You might lose marks if important details are left out. Provide sufficient detail for a meaningful explanation, not too much detail, not too little. Ensure accuracy when referring to data or describing trends or processes. It's important to write a clear overview. This means summarizing the most significant trends or features from the data or information in the diagram. This is not simply an introduction to the topic. That's a common mistake. Here's an example of identifying significant trends. Looking at this graph, we would say, from the graph it is apparent that participation of both men and women in full-time employment has increased over this time period. However, while the numbers of women are generally increasing, the numbers of men in part-time employment are fluctuating. In a question requesting a process description, the overview might identify the key stages in the process. For instance, how many stages there are and what each are, briefly. In the General Training module, there is a letter writing task of at least 150 words. In this task, explain the reason for the letter, include all the points mentioned in the question, and use a consistent and appropriate tone. In both modules, Task 2 is a short essay task of at least 250 words. You are expected to present your opinion on a specific topic, supporting your ideas with evidence. Task 2 contributes more to your overall writing mark than Task 1. To master Task 2, you will need to respond completely to all parts of the question. Develop and support your ideas. Don't just mention them in a single sentence and move on to the next idea. Add explanations, examples, or experience. Ensure your opinion is clear in your answer. Make sure you underline key words in the exam question. Identify how many parts there are to the question, and make sure you do everything you are asked to do. Before you write, plan your ideas, though keep them relevant. Then group and sequence them. Spending 2 to 3 minutes doing this can save you time when you are writing. Follow the recommended timings for each task and meet minimum word counts. For more information, please see the other writing test videos, Coherence and Cohesion, Lexical Resource, and Grammatical Range and Accuracy.
Well, that's pretty cool how you can develop the task response and task achievement. It's very important being an IELTS candidate to understand the question and how you can answer it correctly. So the next part of the writing would be vocabulary, lexical sources.
So you have decided to take the IELTS exam. Great choice. It's the test that opens doors around the world. Here we look at the criteria of Lexical Resource. This is one of 4 criteria on which you will be tested. Look for the other 3 criteria in other videos. This criteria focuses on the range and accuracy of the vocabulary used in your writing. Here are a few tips to improve your vocabulary. Number 1. When you are learning English vocabulary, learn synonyms. This helps you to avoid repeating the same word. For example, learn different ways of describing changes or trends for Task 1 answers. For both Task 1 and Task 2 answers, try not to use too many words from the exam question in your response. Again, using synonyms can help here to reflect the same meaning. When analyzing your Task 2 exam question, you can brainstorm synonyms for the key words in the question and use these throughout your essay answer. Alternative forms of transport should be encouraged and international laws introduced to control car ownership and use. 2. Also, when you are learning vocabulary, don't learn one word at a time, learn word combinations, or collocation. Remember the way words are used together, and avoid typical mistakes such as, he was guilty of making a crime, he was guilty of committing a crime. 3. English words are often part of families. For instance, nowadays every economical is struggling. Nowadays every economic is struggling. Nowadays every economics is struggling. Nowadays every economy is struggling. When writing, use the correct word formation for the context. 4. Always leave time at end of the test to check your writing for errors and add in a wider range of language. Be sure you use less common vocabulary correctly. You are not trying to impress the examiner with your vocabulary. You are not being assessed on the creativity or the correctness of your ideas. You are demonstrating your ability to express and develop ideas precisely and effectively. For more information, please see the writing test videos, task achievement, coherence and cohesion, and grammatical range and accuracy.
Okay, next one is grammatical range and accuracy.
So, you've decided to take the IELTS exam. Well done. Our expertise is your opportunity. Here we look at the criteria of grammatical range and accuracy. This is one of 4 criteria on which you will be tested. Look for the other 3 criteria in other videos. This criteria focuses on the range and accuracy of the grammar demonstrated by the test taker. For grammatical range, consider whether what you are describing is something that happened in the past. Use past tenses. Is happening in the present. Use similar present tenses. Or is predicting the future. Use a variety of future tenses. Sometimes you can use a combination of these different tenses. For example, when analyzing an IELTS Task 1 diagram, note the time period being described and use the matching tenses when describing the information. Demonstrating a range of written grammar might also mean using some of these tenses: comparatives, conditionals, modal verbs, and the passive tense, especially for Task 1 process descriptions. Look for our speaking and grammar download for examples of all these tenses. It's important to learn and practice a variety of grammatical tenses. In all writing tasks, also use a variety of complex structures. Complex structures are sentences with multiple bits of information. A simple sentence usually has a single piece of information. When you practice writing, transform simple sentences into more complex sentences by adding more information to the sentence. For example, ask yourself some WH questions to see what else you can add to the original sentence. For instance, these days everyone has a mobile phone. Think to yourself, who, what, why? These days, people of all generations have mobile phones, especially smartphones, because you can do so many things with them. In your writing, there should be a balance of simple and complex sentences. In addition, punctuation can change meaning. For instance, we got in through the window which someone had left open. We got in through the window which someone had left open. Students aren't expected to be 100% accurate in their writing. However, control is important. Some grammatical errors impact communication more than others. You will be scored according to the impact of errors on communication rather than on the number of mistakes. Leave time at the end of writing to identify and correct errors. You will always find grammar or spelling mistakes. Correcting these can improve your score. See the grammar checklist in the accompanying download. For more information, please see the other writing test videos, Coherence and Cohesion, Lexical Resource, and Grammatical Range and Accuracy.
All right, guys. So the next one would be grammar. We have covered all of them, right? Then writing task 1.
Meet Yo Ching. He is preparing for the Ielts writing test. He knows the basic requirements, but has taken the Ielts writing test before and not achieved the score he wanted. He realizes he has been doing some things in Ielts writing task 1 that don't work. Yo Ching reflects on his study process. In the past, he has tried to describe every number on charts and graphs. He realizes he should have identified 2 to 3 main and significant points in each diagram and described these. He has also copied words from the exam question or from the titles of illustrations. This resulted in lower marks. In addition, he has used too many linking words or phrases just because he knows them. He realizes he needs a new plan for success in Ielts writing task 1. Yo Ching looks in on his friend Kai Sheng to find out how she has been successful. First, Kai Sheng reads the instructions carefully to understand what is required to fully complete the question. It is dangerous to rush answers before understanding the task first, so Kai Sheng takes her time doing this. Yo Ching watches as Kai Sheng looks at the information and begins reflecting on what she sees. First, she paraphrases the key words using different words. So for this question, she writes this. It is important to understand the information depicted, so Kai Sheng analyzes what she sees. Then she looks for the most significant trends in the diagram. She writes an overview of the information presented, telling Yo Ching that this is one of the keys for her high score. This can be included in either the introduction or conclusion, and will usually be a couple of sentences. After noticing points to be highlighted, she thinks about how she would describe them. She considers the grammatical tenses that are relevant. As this graph covers years in the past tense grammar is appropriate to talk about the information. As the graph also has future predictions, she will use future aspects in her writing too. Kai Sheng makes a few notes, planning and organizing her thoughts to arrange her paragraphs effectively before she begins to write her summary. As she continues to write, she separates her paragraphs clearly and uses themes for each paragraph. This allows her to explain her ideas fully. She uses a variety of verbs and adjectives when describing the information in order to show a range of vocabulary. One of her favorite tools is to make notes on a line showing a variety of words to use to describe degrees of change for her essay. Youqing has learned a lot by watching Kaisheng's process. Youqing practices this process many times for himself. Now Youqing finds himself ready to take the Ielts exam again, this time with confidence in a good process.
All right, so let's move on to the next part. Writing task 2, power write.
You want to crack Ielts Task 2 writing? You need to follow the Power Writing Plan. This is planning for your writing based on analysis of the question, organizing your ideas ahead of writing, writing itself, evaluating what you have written, revising and refining what you have written, addressing errors. The first step is to plan. This must be on the basis of the full question. Do not get distracted by specific words in the question. As a result, many test takers see a key topic word and then write an answer, but fail to answer the question fully. You must analyze the full question, identify the different parts to the question, clarify the specific topic, and understand the complete requirements in the question. Can you afford the time to plan your essay? You cannot afford not to plan. Firstly, it is vital you analyze the question and ensure your answer addresses the question completely. Secondly, it is better to separate tasks of idea generation and writing. It's difficult to do this at the same time. Finally, spending a little time planning at the beginning can save you time when writing and crucially addresses all the Ielts assessment criteria, so you will be more efficient and more effective. Next, you will want to identify all the key words. Underlining or circling these in the question can help focus your mind on what you need to write about. Then think of synonyms for these key words. For example, you can use these synonyms throughout your essay. This helps you demonstrate the range of your vocabulary. Then brainstorm possible ideas for all aspects of the question. You must decide your position in relation to the task. For example, you may agree, disagree, or sit on the fence. For the same exam question, you might have these ideas. Alternative forms of transport should be encouraged. Agree. Alternative transport. More cars equals more pollution and traffic congestion, therefore unhealthy and inefficient cities. Public transport. More efficient and environmentally friendly. For example, subway and metro and public bus high use, therefore specialist lanes. International laws introduced to control car ownership and use. Disagree. Control. Restrict personal freedom and choice. International laws. Car and oil industry will strongly object versus powerful industries, so little chance of this. Conclusion? In principle, agree. Alternative transport possible. Control and international laws difficult. That is the planning stage. Then move to organize. Here you need to select and organize your ideas. Break them into separate paragraphs and then be ready to expand the ideas. Aim for an idea, explain, example approach. The idea introduction will effectively be your topic sentence. Then also think about the linking between sentences and paragraphs. Here you are addressing the coherence and cohesion criteria of Ielts writing. Now you are ready to write. Pay attention to your plan and roughly how much you have written. Remember, there is a 250-word requirement for Ielts Task 2. When you finish writing, you need to evaluate. Be sure you have answered all parts of the question. This is critical to the task response criteria of IELTS writing. If you realize you have not addressed all parts of the question, you may need to add more. Finally, you are ready to edit and revise the essay. Look through your writing for possible spelling and grammar errors you might have made. We all make these. Doing this is critical to the grammar criteria of IELTS writing. This should then be the 5 stages of writing: planning, organizing, writing, evaluating, revising, and refining. If you follow the 5 stages for power writing, you will have a better chance of cracking the IELTS Task 2 writing. Look out for other videos on IELTS speaking, writing, listening, and reading. Good luck with IELTS.
Okay, guys, I believe that this video should be rewatched because it's a power writing. It's very important for you to understand how
Based on analysis of the question. You want to crack IELTS Task 2 writing? You need to follow the power writing plan. This is planning for your writing based on analysis of the question, organizing your ideas ahead of writing, writing itself, evaluating what you have written, revising and refining what you have written, addressing errors. The first step is to plan. This must be on the basis of the full question. Do not get distracted by specific words in the question. As a result, many test takers see a key topic word and then write an answer, but fail to answer the question fully. You must analyze the full question, identify the different parts to the question, clarify the specific topic, and understand the complete requirements in the question. Can you afford the time to plan your essay? You cannot afford not to plan. Firstly, it is vital you analyze the question and ensure your answer addresses the question completely. Secondly, it is better to separate tasks of idea generation and writing. It's difficult to do this at the same time. Finally, spending a little time planning at the beginning can save you time when writing and crucially addresses all the IELTS assessment criteria, so you will be more efficient and more effective. Next, you will want to identify all the key words. Underlining or circling these in the question can help focus your mind on what you need to write about. Then think of synonyms for these key words. For example, you can use these synonyms throughout your essay. This helps you demonstrate the range of your vocabulary. Then brainstorm possible ideas for all aspects of the question. You must decide your position in relation to the task. For example, you may agree, disagree, or sit on the fence. For the same exam question, you might have these ideas. Alternative forms of transport should be encouraged. Agree. Alternative transport. More cars equals more pollution and traffic congestion, therefore unhealthy and inefficient cities. Public transport. More efficient and environmentally friendly. For example, subway and metro
Hello,
and public
Sandeep.
bus high use, therefore specialist lanes. International laws introduced to control car ownership and use. Disagree. Control. Restrict personal freedom and choice. International laws. Car and oil industry will strongly object versus powerful industries, so little chance of this. Conclusion? In principle, agree. Alternative transport possible. Control and international laws difficult. That is the planning stage. Then move to organize. Here you need to select and organize your ideas. Break them into separate paragraphs and then be ready to expand the ideas. Aim for an idea, explain, example approach. The idea introduction will effectively be your topic sentence. Then also think about the linking between sentences and paragraphs. Here you are addressing the coherence and cohesion criteria of IELTS writing. Now you are ready to write. Pay attention to your plan and roughly how much you have written. Remember, there is a 250-word requirement for IELTS Task 2. When you finish writing, you need to evaluate. Be sure you have answered all parts of the question. This is critical to the task response criteria of IELTS writing. If you realize you have not addressed all parts of the question, you may need to add more. Finally, you are ready to edit and revise the essay. Look through your writing for possible spelling and grammar errors you might have made. We all make these. Doing this is critical to the grammar criteria of IELTS writing. This should then be the 5 stages of writing: planning, organizing, writing, evaluating, revising, and refining. If you follow the 5 stages for power writing, you will have a better chance of cracking the IELTS Task 2 writing. Look out for other videos on IELTS speaking, writing, listening, and reading. Good luck with IELTS.
Okay, hi Sandeep, welcome. Thanks for the subscription. I've just invited you. If you're free, join me. So the power writing is one of the basic tools for your writing in IELTS exam, where P stands for planning, O for organizing, W for writing, E for evaluating, and R for revise and refine. And this video has really explained very well because it is made from the British Council for the IELTS candidates to give you amazing insights how you can write and develop your writing skill. But the matter is that whether your writing is okay or not, who can check it? Sometimes you're not able to check it by yourself. So it's better for you to subscribe to a competent and qualified teacher and send your writing to the teacher, where the teacher can assess and give you the feedback. And honestly, which I do. That's why I ask all my subscribers who have joined this lesson, send your writing through the email. I'll check and give you back. But some of them have done it. I've given the feedback and they have improved a lot in different sections. Please remember and bear in mind that IELTS exam is nothing but knowing the rubrics, the techniques, and how well you can prepare yourself to answer all the questions. It's not only the knowing English, it's also the knowing the strategies as well. IELTS exam is a time control exam, and you got to be careful about your response of everything, especially listening, reading, writing, speaking, all the 4 features of the test. Okay, the next part would be, I believe that um, writing test 1 and 2 have covered. We have covered reading as well today and listening. That's great. And now I'm going to show you and share my screen for the speaking part, which is very important, and that is in cue card. So bear in mind that in speaking part you get 25% marks in fluency and coherence, 25% in lexical resources, another 25% in grammatical range and accuracy, and last but not least was pronunciation. And if you have watched this word pronunciation, bear in mind it's not accent at all. Many times our learners are confused about these 2 words, pronunciation and accent. Accent is not pronunciation, but accent is the direct reflection of your pronunciation, how you pronounce a word. I always suggest our learners to develop and learn pronunciation rather than accent, because when you know how to pronounce a word correctly, it will really reflect and build up your own accent, your individual accent. Remember, your accent is your identity, your own individual, you know, entity, which will reflect yourself. People will be able to understand, oh, this is this guy, this is that guy. Okay. And what happens in pronunciation, in many cases, we can't pronounce the word, we can't pronounce the sounds clearly. we have to be very careful to know and identify those sounds, correctly, especially voiced, unvoiced sound, sa sound, sh sound, c sound, then th sounds, voiced, unvoiced, and v and w sounds. These are the most common problems in many Asian countries. In the Arab countries, the problem is the T sound and P sound and W and X sound, because these sounds are not available in their mother tongue. And most of the cases, mother tongue had bad impact on our pronunciation, on our English learning, but it is overcomable. Okay, by practicing a lot, you can overcome those you know temporary limitations the way I have done it. As you might be aware, English is not my first language, rather it's my second language. If I could overcome, definitely you can overcome too. What you need is, you need to know the right technique, how to pronounce the words, a tongue movement, tongue touching, voiced, unvoiced, okay, all this in a bits and bytes information. But the matter is that who can give you the information? Not everyone can give you that correct information. So there are many amazing and qualified teachers on this app. You better subscribe to them. Take free lessons if you have that opportunity. If not, subscribe to them. Definitely you'll be able to learn and develop yourself. And the other advantages are when you go for live stream publicly as a subscriber, you can join freely those teachers you have subscribed. And that is the added advantage at the moment. So take the advantage before it is, So once again, guys, we're discussing the basic, all the information about IELTS exam, and through this, the video of the British Council, we have covered more or less all the pairs. And once again, if you are interested to join, just click on the sign up button so that you can enter the class and talk to me and we can have fun. Okay. Bear in mind that the best British teachers or weekend teachers can give you lessons, show you the directions, give you the guidelines, give you the insights. But at the end of the day, it's you have to practice. It's you who have to go with your own plan. So let's move on. So what does fluency mean? This is the important part for being an English learner. Fluency is, let me explain. Let's see. Hang on a second. Fluency is the concept of speaking about a topic without being repetitive, without giving longer pause, and also not to speak too fast or too slow. Okay, it doesn't measure your grammar, your pronunciation, or your vocabulary, rather than your speaking speed, the rhythm. Okay, so I've seen many a times people are repetitive. They use fillers like, you know what, actually, well, yes, no, no. Do not be repetitive. Do not say yes twice. Do not say no twice. Do not use actually more than one time. Use synonyms, guys. Uh, you know what? Do not use you know what. Okay, and do not use like a like a. I have listened to many videos on this app. Many students as well as many amazing learners, they use this word like a. And one day I counted for one of my students. The student used 14 times actually in 1 minute, and 13 times another student used like in 1 minute. I said to them privately, look, if you want to get good score in IELTS exam, do not be repetitive actually, or like. It really limits your thought process. Okay, it really is kind of annoying to the listener or audience because you're saying the same thing. So what you have to do, then I gave them the solutions. In order to use this word, try to know the different kinds of synonyms or maybe different kinds of expressions. Okay, and I'm going to show you about actually today. What are the other ways you can use? All right, okay. Let me see if I've written here or not. Actually. Hang on a second. I'm trying to find out whether there is actually or not. Actually, basically, physically. Okay, I don't see the actually here. Where is one? I have to organize this space later, guys. I'm trying to find actually. No, this is conditional. Yeah. Q card, all this thing. Let me see if I can find actually a note. Okay, how about I'm going to write it, guys? What are the other possible ways we can express actually? All right, so have a look. Actually, in fact, the matter is that you can use a Latin phrase, de facto, or fact is that, or factual matter. In reality, as a matter of fact, okay, so these are some words you can always use in place of actually. Actually, in fact, the matter is that, de facto, fact is that, factual matter, in reality, as a matter of fact. It is always important for you to use these words correctly. Bear in mind that when you know a word or vocab, we need to know how we can use it correctly. It is really, really important. Okay. Otherwise, when you know a word and you don't know how to use it correctly, well, how you're going to make sentences? This is a very challenging question for you, and possibly you'll be ended up writing a wrong or incorrect sentence. And also, if you don't know the content or context, then it might be misleading information. Okay, so which is why it's very important that when you learn a word, try to know the content, meaning, and also the family word, we say, in order to use it in a wider version. Family words. So family words are those when we learn a word and other related word from it. And I give very common example every time, like beautiful, one word, okay, or any other word that has got more words. So we need to know uh, the word, what kind of word, like what kind of perspective, whether it's an adjective or adverb. Can we make it noun, or can we make it gerund? Can we make it gerund, or can we make it in a continuous form, in a tense or in a sentence? And for the grammar part in English, I always advise and ask and suggest learners to learn tense. If you know tense, you will be able to know the 80% of English grammar. And the reason is clear, because tense explains different things in describes lots of things, and you need to know them first. Like you need to know the capitalization, okay, how to write the sentence correctly. You need to know gender, male, female. You need to know number, singular and plural number. You need to know articles, definite and indefinite articles. Definite articles like the or the indefinite articles like a and n. Then you need to know parts of speech, whether it's a noun or pronoun or verb or adverb or adjective, preposition, conjunction or interjection. Okay, and obviously when you learn tense, you know how to use narration or voice. That is very important. So as I was saying, when you're using a word in a sentence, do not use the same word more than once. Use the synonyms, which is why you need to study a little bit more and try to find out the other, almost synonymous words. Though sometimes it is not possible to find out the similar synonym, but at least you'll get almost similar kind of meaning, which is very important. Okay, guys, and this class is going to be finished in 5 minutes. Okay, 8:55. Okay, so thank you very much, guys, for joining me. I know that some people are watching and they like to comment. Because of the Hallo's restriction, you can't comment and join. I'll suggest that it's better for you. You can subscribe to my lessons with the using of the code. 30% you'll be getting discount using this codes. I'm writing it once again. The codes are Hallo app. If you're using Hallo Kids, use Hallo Kids. And if you're booking a one-on-one lesson, use Instaclass or Instaclass. Okay, it will give you 30% discount opportunity. And this offer is valid until the end of today, because tomorrow is 1st of May. And I don't think that they're going to extend the time. If they extend, we can inform you later, guys. But however, still you have got time today. Use 30% discount code Hallo app, Hallo Kids, Instaclass. Okay, and I'm going to show you some of my lessons as well, what I offer from this platform. Okay, hang on a moment, please. Let me find out my lessons. So I'm going to share the page of my classes. So you can see Ielts B2 every Sunday, Saturday, 8 a.m. my time, UK time. Remember, guys, the time will be reflecting in your place where you are. Like if you're in Asian country, it will be showing the Asian time, your country time. If you're in Europe, it will be showing in European time. If you're in Canada, Australia, New Zealand, anywhere in the world, it will be reflecting there. So you can see batch Ielts B2. There are 5 students out. I've downsized the class, maximum 10 in this class, and 5 people are there. And for the English practice, the downsize the class to 10 and 3 people are there. Then Ielts B1 downsize the class to 10 and 3 people are there. Then English phonetics, grammar and phonetics lesson, 3 people are there, and the time is 6:30 and 9 p.m. Then Ielts P1 again, Monday, Tuesday, 6:30, and 5 people are there out of 10. That grammar and phonetics practice, Tuesday, Wednesday, 9 p.m. 5 people are there out of 10. Then again, I'll speaking and writing sessions, B2, class size 15, 7 people are already there. Then speaking practice and phonetics, downstairs class 15, 4 people are there. And the new lesson, Go with the Flow, which I'm going to change the basic British IPA. And obviously, no one has subscribed up to now. I hope that somebody might be subscribing soon. Okay, that's all about my lessons, guys. And thank you very much for joining. You guys are amazing and awesome. Remember, we are celebrating 3 years anniversary, and today is the last day of getting the discount of 30% using the Sky, those code Hallo app, Hallo Kids, and Instaclass. Okay, and I'm finishing 5 minutes earlier today. And thank you very much for your support, for your presence. And Sandeep, I've invited you quite a few times. It looks like your connection is not stable or possibly you're busy. Thank you very much. Join me in my free live streams through which you'll be able to practice a little bit more. Okay, remember, practice is the key factor. Practice every day. Do not live a day without practicing. It should be like your part and parcel of daily life. The way you drink water, you take food, and practice should be like this. And thank you very much once again for joining. I hope to see you soon. You guys are amazing. You take care and bye.